you've seen?
Well, I would say there's probably a lot of guys that fit that category. You know, Cordell, Tyler, Creener, Christian Williams. I mean, there's a lot of guys that fit into that. Isaiah Moss. You know, you think back to the Minnesota game, he's on fire, and then, you know, Brady comes in, he's playing well. We got a lineup that clicks. We're down 13 points. We take the lead. I'm going to leave that lineup on the floor. Then they get exhausted. So now you put those guys back in, but they've been sitting a while, so they're not quite as comfortable. But, you know, that's what happens when you get into games. You just try to make the best decisions you can make at the time. I hope it works out. But you get a team that's clicking and erases a 13-point lead as quickly as we did that day, then you're going to leave that team on the floor.
Fran, you've always had an appreciation for this program and the past, and you look at this weekend with the Kenny Arnold tribute and the players coming back. I mean, what are your thoughts of that? Do you remember Kenny and that team back when you were
I remember
playing?
that team well. I think I told you guys before. They won it in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was at both of those games, just as a fan. I was playing college basketball at the time, and really enjoyed watching that team. You know, Vince Brookins, Bobby Hansen, Ronnie Lester, Krafsis, Steve Wade. I remember watching that team play, and that region had some pretty good teams, Maryland, Georgetown, that they had to beat. And I just think it's great that, you know, when you look at it, how that group of guys has continued to sort of take care of Kenny, especially Mike Henry. But I mean, so many guys. I mean, and just think about how frustrated you'd be if you couldn't really communicate for 20 years when you were fully aware of what's going on around you. So the fact that it came to be that we're able to figure out a way through technology and the advancement of technology to allow him to communicate how great that is. It's just unfortunate it didn't happen sooner. But those guys, you know, sort of loving him the way that they have, and, you know, sort of continuing his legacy and making sure that people remember him and wish he could be here. You know, his health doesn't look like it's going to enable him to do that. But he was here a couple of years ago. He got a standing ovation. That was terrific. He was in the locker room with the guys, and I just think it's important that your players not only know and understand, but like you said, appreciate those who came before. And you know, we're going to have a packed house on Saturday, but the reason those people come is they've been coming for generations to watch this team play, and that's what it's all about. So, you know, it was great that, you know, when Coach Olson was here for the Iowa State game, you know, it all sort of came together then. You know, a bunch of those guys were at my house the night before the game, and we talked about it. We're just glad to be able to pull it off.